So I was a yeller, so much a yeller, and that left trauma with my children. Huh? Not all of it, just the majority of it. And wash it again? I mean, I can text the number on the bathroom, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. Lord. I accidentally spilt my coffee. Ugh, and they don't have any paper towels. I gotta go text the number. So I gotta text the number up here for bathroom access. Then it says I have to show my ID to a security camera. I have never had to do this in a laundromat before. I don't know. I hope they give me a code, or else I can't clean up my coffee or go pee. Nice little bathroom. They got some interesting raised tile floors on there. Really nice. I can see why a code helps. Okay. You know, I always like to clean up my mess. I don't like the mess to be left for somebody else to clean, you know? If I made the mess, I need to clean the mess, you know?
Yeah.
So we grabbed some lunch, and we're very much reminded. We went to the Skagit Valley Co-op, which is amazing. Lovely store. Beautiful, beautiful inside. But it was, for my little box of stuff, it was $7.80. Kyle's was $15.28. And then we got coffee. How much was the coffee? Yeah, I didn't get the receipt. Anyway, this is why we can't shop for our family predominantly at health food stores, because it costs an arm and a leg. It's good though.
It's great. It's just, it really costs us $500, $600 a week to shop there.
Yeah.
To eat that.
Yeah. It's a beautiful co-op. If you're ever in the area, it's an amazing, one of our favorite co-ops in the country. It's just expensive to feed a family. Holy mackerel. I got pineapple tofu with rice. It's pretty good. It's pretty delicious.
Oh, my uncle. There's an Indian thing.
Love a good Indian moment.
Oh,
It smells good. This is vegan, gluten-free, and dairy-free.
that's fun.
Very good. There's like an underlying sort of spice in there. Comes in after the fact. Tastes very Asian. It's alright. Tofu. Not bad. Look at that. Is that a salmon or a trout? Salmon. It's a cool little statue. Nice park that we're at. Washington has no shortages of parks.
A lot of recreational land.
So much recreational land. Enjoying our laundry lunch date. Yeah, it's just, the world's kind of tough right now. Everybody's feeling it in one way or another. It's hard.
It is very expensive here. Everything is even more.
Yeah, it's pricey here. I mean, West Coast.
Even more than Arizona. it's noticeably different.
Yeah.
Gas is pretty much 4+ a gallon everywhere you go.
And then that makes it even harder.
So it makes it, if it owed $4 a gallon, if this thing's completely empty, so it's right at $100. Fill this mid-size.
$100 to fill this up?
These,
oh my gosh. It's crazy.
Excuse me, Weezies. I gotta put the laundries up here. Excuse me, Weezer.
Before you leave today, will you carry these totes out for me, baby? Pretty please. Gotta get that Meadow Mini that I'm trading.
So, in that case, what would you like to eat, sir?
And the babe to hang up. Oh, yes! That I got from Goodwill. Remember when I didn't switch the Goodwill tag and I made good life choices?
Is everything?
Everything was right with me. So I'm looking for trades, and I tagged her and said she had first dibs, right? And so this skirt that she wants to trade that is like just everything right with the world, and it's perfect, and it's brown and orange, and it's got some blue in it. Yes. It is a 70s dreamboat.
Sounds pretty special.
Daddy's got to use it for the computer because he's got to get his video uploaded. You can help me fold some laundry if you want. But seriously, what would you like for food, buddy? You want a peanut butter sandwich? You're just thirsty? Okay. Where's your water bottle?
I'll just go drink it.
Da, 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 da. Doing the laundry. Doing the laundry. Eli requested a tuna fish sandwich, and so Ben wants one too. I usually put mayo, a little bit of stone ground mustard, dill pickle, and salt, pepper, and garlic. Yeah, and then we mayonnaise the bread. Gotta get creative because, I mean, on the way home, we were just talking about food prices. And I don't know how they are where you are, but every region of the country is different for prices. Out west is so expensive, especially Washington. It's just, it costs a lot. And then when you try and get food that's non-GMO, non-dyes, like, we're just doing the best we can, you know, within our means that we can do it. And some days that's just difficult because we want to feed our family good, healthy things. It's just with the price of everything, it's just crazy. It's just crazy that it's this expensive to feed a family of 5. So, doing our best, just like you are, you know. Gas is crazy expensive, and yeah, but it's still much less expensive for us to live this life than it was in a traditional house. I mean, back before we moved into the bus, right? Like 2019, our expenses living in a traditional home was about $11,000 a month. The kids went to a Christian school. They, I like to bite a fish from time to time. We had a really big house, big yard, big taxes, electric bill, all the things. And that was with me and my salon, which made over 6 figures a year. And being able, you know, and we were barely skating by then. I cannot even imagine how much it costs to live a traditional lifestyle in these circumstances. I couldn't do it. Like, even if we wanted to, like, we couldn't go buy a house right now. And we may, the plan is eventually want to build a cabin on the property in Mora, because we do want to spread out, right? We want a place that's ours, where we can spread out, and we flow between seasons. Like, we're not rigid in a season, and if we have to make a change to something, we make a change, because that's just what we do. So I'm gonna get these off to the boys. Get these nice, yummy yummy tuna fish sandwiches. Do you like tuna fish? Let me know. Is tuna fish your thing or not really? I think it's an either or for people. I'll eat a tuna fish sandwich with my gluten-free bread from time to time. I do enjoy fish more than I do chicken, beef, other poultry stuff. But I have a really big treat for you. Today, we're cutting my hair. Would you like to cut my hair with me in the bus? You're going to cut my hair with me, and I'll show you exactly how I do it, because I used to go to places to cut my hair, and then it was hard from region to region to find someone to be able to cut my hair. And then, you know, some of my favorite people are in Florida, and we're obviously not in Florida all the time.
My sandwich.
Yeah, would you mind delivering Ben his too? Thank you. When you're done eating, let me know. We'll go on our walk, okay? So we're gonna chop this hair up. It's getting a little, whew, and I'm gonna show you, you know, just how intricate my hair trimming really is. I grew up in a beauty salon, so we'll talk in a minute. Let me get these clothes off, fold this laundry, distribute it, and then we're gonna chop my hair. What are we gonna do today? I don't think I'm gonna color it. I don't feel like coloring it today. Not in the cards today, but chopping it off is. So what should I do? Should I just trim it? Should I shave it off? What should we do? An hour and a half later, I finally got through all of the stinking laundry. Hang on. This is Molly's area over here. These are, and the walls. So that's Molly's, and that's Molly's. This is mine. So what's on top of here? Ben's is this little area right there. Eli's are these two, and then Kyle is from there over.
He has more clothes than you.
He does. This is Socklandia. Socklandia over here. Do you have missing socks at home? Because we constantly have missing socks, but we do have ones that are good. I usually either Kyle will go to the laundromat or him and I will go and make like a little getaway out of it, and we'll go grab coffee or something while we're out. And then bring the laundry gets brought inside. I do the folding, and then everybody has to put away their own. I typically put Kyle's away because he makes my coffee every day. And so there's just little things that I like to do, like putting his laundry away that, you know, makes him feel good, shows some gratitude that I love him, and it's something that he really despises doing. So he cooks food for me and makes my coffee, so I can put laundry away for him.
Mom.
Yeah. Oh, sweet.
That was in my drawer. I don't
You know?
I wish they would like stay in there, you know?
Zippers for
Ugh.
yeah, not my socks.
Oh, I'm gonna have to get in here and fold this stuff. Oh, he forgot about that shirt. I love this shirt on him.
I need to wash this.
Watch what? Yeah, probably a good idea.
And this.
You hate what? That's fine. Whatever you don't want, just put in a bag and we'll drop that off. Dun, 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 dun. We got a lot of laundry. We got a lot of laundry. Do, 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 do. Kyle has a lot of laundry. Holy cow.
Can you start handing me some of my clothes, please?
Hello. Okay, so it's a lot darker outside than when I was folding laundry, and Kyle's already home. Okay, so I love my kids. We're at this point where we talk like humans, I guess. Like, I can have a conversation where I'm like, hey, I'm doing this. Do you think you could kind of quiet it down? Oh, yeah, absolutely. No problem. But before, like, I don't know, a few years ago, I would have just yelled. I was a yeller. Were you or are you a yeller? No shame. This is a very safe space. It just was kind of life for me. I just yelled because that is how it was modeled for me. When I was growing up, my mom was a yeller. And so as much as we want to break these generational cycles, right? Sometimes it's hard because we get it from our parents, and at the same time, our parents were doing the best they could with what they had, just like their parents before them, just like their parents before them. Unknowingly, we are all doing the best we can with what we have in every moment. And I need my mirror. Hang on. So I promised a haircut today. And, oh, Sugarloaf Key, I wanted to make sure I delivered on said haircut promise. Had to get my little mirror. So I do want to continue this like mama trauma conversation, but I also want to show you how I cut my hair. So I have human clippers. I was a dog groomer for 15 years, but I use human scissors and thinning shears now. And literally cutting my hair is, let me do my earrings out, basically just me taking thinning shears all over my head and picking places to cut. And then I clean up the hair. That's what it is. I'm kind of going for like a shaggy, I don't know, boho, grungy hippie. You know, that's where I'm at in life, and so that's what I'm going with. So I was a yeller, so much a yeller, and that left trauma with my children, right? Because I would just get so triggered that I was overwhelmed, which I did not know I had ADHD back then, and I'm neurodivergent, and a lot of things that would have been helpful knowing, didn't know. Again, doing the best with what we could, with what we have. When we moved into a bus, we came up with family rules. We had started therapy, and our therapist wanted us to come up with family rules. One of the rules was no yelling, because we each came up with something that was important. And the kids, for me, was no yelling. I mean, reality check, right? Like gut punch, like, oh my gosh, as much as I don't think I'm a yeller, I'm actually a yeller. And that was huge and heartbreaking for me, because I had to accept the fact that there's still generational trauma here that I'm not breaking. And that was like the biggest mirror staring me in the face, going, oh, I really need to make a change, because I do not want my children to remember their childhood of their mom yelling like I remembered mine. We always try to do better than our parents, and we do, which is fantastic. We're killing it. And there's going to be stuff that comes through. There's, as great as we think we are as parents, I will tell you, recording myself on camera was huge. Huge to like see myself through a lens and be like, oh, that was not how I intended that. And I want to make sure my outside matches my inside with my intentions. And yeah, filming myself was huge. And if you're a hairdresser right now, it's okay. I actually grew up in a hair salon. My mom was a hairdresser, and I say was because we're no contact. We don't speak. She is still alive. Just yeah, we don't really speak. And so when I grew up, I was a shampoo girl from for my mom from the age of 13 to 16. And it's so funny. Like, I worked for tips, and then my mom would pay me like $20 for the day. And I would get the little old ladies that would tip me, and they would tip me. It was so cute. They would tip me 2 dimes and a nickel. And they would say, don't spend it all in one place. And they meant it. It was so sweet. I loved shampooing the older ladies' hair. It was a lot of wisdom what happened by the shampoo bowl. I was a yeller because my mom was a yeller, and you learn from your parents, and I just didn't want to do that. So every time I would yell, right, or get really elevated, and with PTSD, it adds an even other layer of reacting in your trigger, because when you have PTSD and you're in a trigger, it is very, very difficult to stay grounded and to stay centered. And at the same time, facial expressions are happening and you think you've got this storm calmed on the inside, but your exterior looks very different. And that's what your loved ones see. And that's what my family saw. And so, you know, it's been a lot of progress and process over the years. It did not happen overnight. You know, I was not as calm when my children were younger. You know, again, we're all trying to break these cycles, and we are. And there's things that are still there that continue to show up in your life as you get older because we were not given the directions, right, on the school of life or the game of life. Like there was no handbook. We were very unprepared. I mean, even think about it. Kyle and I got married to Kyle 9 days after I turned 21. We had been together for 2 years. I started dating Kyle when I was 19, and Ethan was 18 months old. Yeah. Like that is young. Looking back now, you know, I just turned 38. Looking back now, I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I know? What did I know back then? Because I surely did not know as much as I thought I knew, you know, and we grow and we evolve and we become into who we are in present day. And so in moving into the bus, I and filming everything, right? Because when we started out, we filmed everything. And there were times where I would be frustrated because we're trying to film and one of the kids was fighting with the other kid and it was a whole thing and I would just be like, "Would you stop it?" Like exasperated. I know we've all gotten to that point where we are absolutely exasperated because we have so much overwhelm going on and this child's fighting with this child, but this you got to make dinner over here. Oh my gosh, it's exhausting just talking about it. Of course, when we don't have any better tools, we have to try and diffuse our trigger somehow, and the trigger just goes all over everybody, right? And we can't help it sometimes. It just happens. And we can use that in the future. So that's what I did. Like whenever I would yell, I would say, you know what? That is not the mom that I want to be. I am sorry that I did that. Can we try that again? You know, coming to the kids when I yelled, as soon as I yelled or made a mistake and say, yep, you know what? That was wrong of me. Should not have done that. Can we do a redo? You know, because they are valid in their experience. And I'm valid in my experience, just like you're valid in your experience. And both people can leave a conversation feeling valid, seen, and heard. And so I started with the kids. I started really trying to make, if I did something that was not on the family rules, being like making a mental note, okay, this is what I can do next time. You know, I would use all those triggers, right, to trace it back to where it came from. That's the shadow work that ties into mama trauma, right? Shadow work is really going like when you're triggered. That trigger. He's out walking the dogs, buddy.
Why is he making food?
He's making some bratwurst.
Oh, okay.
That trigger that you're in is tied to a trauma. Trigger is tied to trauma. And so you kind of have to trace it back to see that initial event, to feel through when that was. And that was a lot of my NET treatments that I did in Denver, which I've been doing this, you know, a lot on my own. You don't have to go to a specialist to be able to do shadow work. Like you do not have to do that. You can do it yourself. The specialist can just get in very deep. Like in my book, Soulful Miles, I wrote about an event where my kids were going up the slide backwards, like climbing up the slide. And I would yell every time they climbed up the slide backwards. I'd be like, get off the slide. Like it would enrage me that they were climbing up the slide. So
I kind of was like, why am I so angry about this? Why am I mad about them going up the slide this way? Well, I ended up thinking back to slides in my childhood. There's a very specific moment. I was only a couple years old. I went up the slide the wrong way and my dad came unglued. My dad was an authoritarian parent, and as an authoritarian parent, you do not break the rules. The rules are there for a reason. You abide by the rules, and if you break the rules, you are in trouble. That is why I reacted the way I did, because that event left a mark on me. And I knew that, oh my gosh, you do not go up the slide backwards. And so then in that present moment, I had to decide, okay, am I going to stick with this whole slide thing? Like, does it really matter to me if my kids go up the wrong way? And the answer was no, it does not. We just had to go over some safety that if you are going to go up the slide, please make sure nobody is at the top of it first. And, you know, a couple times of not making sure, they then made sure. But yeah, it was so wild that me yelling at my children to go up a slide the wrong way was tied to me doing it and my dad coming absolutely unglued. And there's so many of those little moments in your life where your parents were doing the best they could with what they had, using the tools that they knew or had available to them, which were little, right? And so it's nobody's fault. We don't have to be mad at our parents. We don't have to be mad at our mamas for the trauma that they gave us, right? Because they were doing the best they could with what they had in the moment they were in. I forgave my parents and my mother for myself because I didn't want to carry that any longer. I can forgive them and I don't have to have anything to do with them. I can still be no contact because I don't feel safe with them. Rightfully so. And that's okay. They can do their thing. I harbor no ill energy. I harbor nothing against them. They just live their life doing their thing. And I'm okay with that. Oh, I'm loving this. Oh, I'm freaking loving this. Y'all, don't be afraid to just whack at your own hair. I mean, it grows back, right? And if you really mess it up, there's a beautician that can help you out. I promise you. But it's so fun. I shaved my head bald a couple summers ago. 3 summers ago. Yeah, 3 summers ago. It was amazing. Actually, that is what Kyle, I hope he tells this story one day because it was so sweet what he told me. But he was really grateful. He ended up being very grateful that I shaved my head because he said that it showed him what love really was. Love wasn't just about the outside appearance. Love was about the person that's inside. And so, yeah, that was really cool. Oh, yes, I am loving this. I just need to thin out some of this. Yeah, I just literally whack at my hair. That's all I do. I whack at my hair. And I think being around hair my whole life and in a beauty salon, I just was comfortable. I'm comfortable with it, although I could never experiment with crazy colors as a kid. There's one time that I dyed my hair pink while my dad was out of town. And my mom ended up telling him, and it was just chalk. It was like this waxy stuff. And he said, if I did not make sure that my hair was back to blonde, by the time he got home, he was going to rip every hair out of my head. So I had to wash my hair like 763 times because I knew that my dad meant it. Like if he said he was going to rip the hair out of my head, then he absolutely would have. And so I was not about to test if he was lying or just, trying to threaten me. So I made sure that I washed my hair. I'm sure that as a kid, not being able to experiment with crazy hair is why ever since I turned 18, or ever since I really moved out, which was 17, I did whatever I wanted to do with my hair. And yeah, that's one of those things that I want to keep. I want to keep doing wild and crazy stuff to my hair because it grows back. So I do have to get my shower, but I'm like so happy with it. I'm in like this 90s grunge haircut mixed with pixie-ish. Yeah. Anyway, that's what I was going for. So I am pretty happy with it. Thank you for hanging out with me in the bathroom. I cut a whole bunch of my hair off. It just like when it's short, it just goes and just kind of puffs out. I am gonna get in the shower right here, wash all of this off. Kyle is out there making some dinner. I made Eli another tuna fish sandwich. He's been on a tuna fish kick. And yeah, I think then we're going to head to bed. It's just been a, normal day. Thank you for talking about the mama trauma with me. It's a tough conversation to have. So many of you, I know, have similar stories and situations to mine, where our moms were doing the best they could with what they had. And so, yeah, it's a journey. It's a journey. And I am so grateful that you are on it with me. Thank you for being here and being you. Have a safe trip home. I love you.